Buenos dias, Zamboanga Peninsula. Magandang araw po at maayong buntag. Welcome sa Kapihan sa Bagong, Pilipinas, hatid ng Presidential Communications Office and Philippine Information Agency. Ang programang ito ay para sa ating mga iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno upang ilahad ang kanilang mga programa at proyekto para sa ating mamamayan at sa taong bayan. Ngayon po sa ating ika-20th episode na po ng Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas, makakasama natin from Bureau of Internal Revenue, Revenue Region number 15. At maya-maya po makikilala na po natin ang ating mga panauhin at ang ating mga guests po sa ating programa. Pero bago ang lahat, nais natin pong i-welcome lahat po ng ating mga viewers online via PIA Western Mindanao Facebook page and of course yung ating mga media partners po na weekly po nating nakakasama all over Zamboanga Peninsula from Isabela City, Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and of course from Zamboanga City nakasama natin ngayon sa ating venue. At mag-entertain po tayo mamaya ng inyong mga katanungan. So please like po, share, and comment po ng inyong mga questions via live stream at susubukan po natin yung sagutin at basahin maya-maya. And hindi na po natin patatagalin pa. Let's welcome all our guests po from BIR. First, we have Attorney Malik Umpar, the Revenue District Officer of RDO number 93A of Zamboanga City. Welcome po, Attorney.
Thank you, Myra. Good morning to our listeners. I am your revenue. I am happy and at the same time, I am excited to have you here for this 20th episode of the Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas being hosted by the Presidential Communication Office hosted by through the Philippine Information Agency. Our office, the Revenue District Office number 93A is composed, our area of jurisdiction is composed of the 98 barangay of Zamboanga City, and with that we are given task to collect at least 4,197,170,000 pesos. Again, good morning.
Thank you very much po, Attorney Umpar. Next, we have Attorney Lester Miñao, the Chief of Assessment Section of RDO number 93A of Zamboanga City. Welcome po, Attorney.
Welcome. Good morning to all, to everyone, both to our live audience here and to our online viewers joining us for today's episodes of Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. I am Lester Miñao. I'm the Chief of the Assessment Section of Revenue District Office number 93A, Zamboanga City. So as the head of the assessment section, our task is we are primarily responsible for ensuring that our taxpayers are compliant with tax laws through our diligent assessments and audits. Also, our team is also responsible for verifying tax returns, conducting offline candado, processing audit transactions, monitoring taxpayers. Also, we assist our taxpayers in all their concerns, especially if they have disputes over their tax assessment cases or for any other concerns regarding their tax liabilities. Again, good morning.
All right, thank you po, Attorney Miñao. Next, we have Attorney Rina Marie Francisco, the Chief of Legal Division.
Morning to our lovely host from the PIA, Ms. Myra, to our audience in the venue, and to those who are watching us via various online platforms. We are happy to be here today. As previously introduced, I am Rina Marie Patangan Francisco. I am one of the 7 division chiefs of Revenue Region number 15, Zamboanga City. In case you thought you misheard me, I did say Revenue Region number 15 because BIR is not number the same way as the administrative regions like other offices are. Because all over the Philippines, we have 22 revenue regions. So revenue region number 15 is the region for Zamboanga City. I head the legal division, and together with other attorneys, we cater to the needs of the region when it comes to legal matters. Our jurisdiction not only covers the Zamboanga Peninsula, but also the revenue district offices of the provinces of Basilan, Jolo, and Tawi-Tawi. Part of our tasks, aside from other things, would be to do final review and processing of applications for tax exemptions of cooperatives and stock non-profit corporations which are forwarded by Revenue District us in the regional office for the final approval of the regional director. Again, thank you for the opportunity to be part of this Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas.
All right, thank you very much po for the clarification also, Attorney Francisco. Next, we have the Assistant Regional Director. We have Ma'am Ruby Ruth Magtagniob.
Isang magandang umaga po sa lahat ng kasama natin dito sa venue at saka nasa online. Maraming salamat, Ms. Myra. I'm Ruby Ruth G. Magtagnob, the Assistant Regional Director of Revenue Region number 15. I'm in charge of the supervising the administrative requirements of the region, and also I approve and sign the reports of the Finance Division and the Administrative Division. I'm also the Assistant Revenue Regional Director, also monitors the implementation of the Human Resource Management Development programs and policies of the Revenue Region. Again, good morning to all of you, and we are here to, we are ready to serve you all.
All right, thank you po. Finally, we have the Regional Director of BIR of Revenue Region number 15. We have Attorney Aini Mandahoyan Dizon.
A pleasant morning to everyone here present in this morning's Kapihan sa PIA regarding Bagong Pilipinas program of our government. Welcome to this forum in this morning's affair. I would like also to say good morning to Director Noemi Idaga of the PIA, to Myra, our host here, to the personnel and staff, technical people of the PIA. Good morning likewise to our media practitioners. Thank you for being here. We are very happy that you are attending this press conference in order for us to help us to disseminate tax information by BIR. Greetings also to our viewers online, including our esteemed taxpayers of Revenue Region number 15, Zamboanga City, as well as the members of BIR family RR15 watching us live. Good morning also to the members of the team here on stage, ARD and RDO and the division chiefs, also Cass Lester. To everyone, good morning. And as a start of this program, I would like to say that the BIR in general is tasked to collect the bulk of the government's national budget to run the machinery of the government. For RR15 Zamboanga City this year, 2024, we are tasked to collect 11 billion, and so far as of September 30, 2024, we have collected 8 billion, or about 73%. So 3 months more to go before the year ends to collect the goal assigned to us. As Regional Director of RR15 Zamboanga City, it is my duty to see to it that all BIR laws, rules, and regulations have been properly administered, and monitoring of all the activities and functions assigned to us. It is also my duty to see to it that our personnel are really rendering the best service we could ever have in conformity with the strategy and the vision of our government towards a better service to our taxpayers. So to everyone, good morning.
All right, thank you very much po. Once again, the Regional Director po, we have Attorney Aini Dizon. And with that, I believe we have a presentation po from the BIR, and let's all watch po their audiovisual presentation for their updates po for the year 2024 or from the previous years. So let's all watch this.
Good morning to everyone present in this morning's Kapihan sa PIA, and to our dear Commissioner of Internal Revenue, Commissioner Romeo Lumage Jr., our Deputy Commissioners, Assistant Commissioners, other National Office officials, and Regional Office number 15 personnel watching us right now. Greetings likewise to all our televiewers and our taxpayers, as well as all professional and business organizations, national government agencies, local government units, and other partners in nation building of BIR Revenue Region number 15, Zamboanga City. The Bagong Pilipinas program, initiated by President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., aims to address pressing social and economic issues while promoting national development. Overall, the Bagong Pilipinas represents a comprehensive strategy to drive the country towards a more prosperous and equitable future. The Bureau of Internal Revenue, as the main tax collecting agency of the country, is gearing all efforts towards attaining its mandate and objectives. Under the leadership of Commissioner Romeo D. Lomague Jr. and the Deputy Commissioners, the BIR is embarking on programs that would bring better service and making tax compliance easier. The recent amendment to the national tax laws is the Ease on Paying Taxes (EOPT) Act under Republic Act No. 11976, which was approved on January 5, 2024 by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and took effect on January 22, 2024. We conducted a roadshow on this last August 23, 2024 here in Zamboanga City with our top officials joining us. The main features of this law are as follows. First, it how it was approved on January 5, 2024 by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., published in the Official Gazette on January 7, 2024, took effect on January 22, 2024, and implemented by Revenue Regulations numbers 2 to 8, 2024. Under this law, taxpayers are now classified into 4 instead of the usual 3. We have now micro taxpayers with gross sales for a taxable year of less than 3 million, small taxpayers with gross sales for a taxable year of 3 million to less than 20 million, medium taxpayers with gross sales for a taxable year of 20 million to less than 1 billion, and large taxpayers with gross sales for a taxable year of 1 million and above. Taxpayers shall be notified by the BIR of their classification or reclassification as may be applicable. The manner or procedure will be prescribed in subsequent revenue issuances. There are special concessions to micro and small taxpayers under the EOPT law. There is a reduction of civil penalty rate from 25% to 10% for the following violations: failure to file any return and pay the tax due thereon as required on the date prescribed, failure to pay the deficiency tax within the time prescribed for its payment in the notice of assessment, failure to pay the full or part of the amount of tax shown on any return to be filed or the full amount of tax due where no return was filed. There is also a reduction in the interest rate at 6% from the usual 12%. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas imposes 6% of interest, and the tax code imposes an interest rate twice the legal interest rate of the Bangko Sentral. However, for small and micro taxpayers, 50% is granted as a reduction, so that means they are subject only to 6% interest rate. There is also a reduction in compromise penalty rates by 50% for the following violations: violations of invoicing and accounting requirements for VAT taxpayers, invoicing violations, printing violations, and other violations not involving fraud. The scope of revenue regulations for this 2024, which is one of the implementing regulations of EOPT law, are the following: the electronic or manual filing of tax returns and payment of taxes regardless of venue or jurisdiction of the RDO, removal of civil penalty for filing of return at the wrong venue, non-filing of income tax return by an overseas contract worker or overseas Filipino worker, removal of additional requirements for deductibility of certain payments, and withholding of tax at source and declaration of income of recipient. As far as VAT and percentage taxes are concerned, the salient features of OPT law are the following. There is a shift from cash basis to accrual basis of accounting. This applies to goods and services, properties, use or lease of properties. And any reference to gross selling price will now be referred to as gross sales. And any reference to sales or commercial invoices and official receipts shall now be referred to as invoice. So we have no more sales invoices, commercial invoices, official receipts, and so on, all harmonized into one term, invoice. The Bureau of Internal Revenue, Revenue Region number 15, Zamboanga City, covers 7 revenue district offices as follows. Revenue District Office number 91, Dipolog City, covering Dipolog, Dapitan, and all the municipalities of Zamboanga del Norte. Revenue District Office number 92, Pagadian City, covering Pagadian City and all the municipalities of Zamboanga del Sur. Revenue District Office number 93A, Zamboanga City, covering the entire city of Zamboanga. Revenue District Office number 93B, Ipil, Zamboanga, Sibugay, covering the province of Zamboanga, Sibugay. Revenue District Office number 94, Isabela City, Basilan, covering the island of Basilan. Revenue District Office number 95, Hulu, Sulu, covering the islands of Sulu. And Revenue District Office number 96, Bungao, Tawi-Tawi, covering the islands of Tawi-Tawi. The Bureau of Internal Revenue is embarking as part of its digitalization on e-services. The following e-services are available: online registration and update system, or we call OROS, electronic filing and payment system, or EFPS, electronic BIR forms, electronic audited financial statements, e-pay, e-audit, electronic tax software provider certification, electronic tax clearance certificate for business purposes, and tax compliance verification certificate. Another one, electronic documentary stamp tax, e-complaint, e-submission, e-acreage, e-sales, electronic official register book, electronic letter of authority monitoring system, electronic tax compliance verification drive, mobile revenue collection officer system, accounts receivable management system, and internal revenue stamps integrated system. Revenue Region number 15 has also its small wins as far as accomplishments on the non-collection functions are concerned. First, RR15 was awarded ISO 9001:2015 certification for primary and secondary registration, first expansion covering one-time transactions, tax clearance certificates, and batch control sheets. We are now awaiting for our ISO third-party audit for the second expansion covering collection processes, audit processes, non-TAMP sub-filer cases, and accounts receivable delinquent accounts. We have already passed all the requirements up to the final gap assessment, and on October 23, 24, and 25, we are scheduled to undergo the third-party audit. We also passed the Prime HRM Level 2 assessment by the Civil Service Commission. Awarding will be done this coming October 18, 2024, here in Zamboanga City, with no less than the Commissioner of Civil Service Commission attending. The Regional Director, yours truly, has also been granted CISO 5 eligibility by the Office of the President on August 5, 2024 at Malacañang Palace, Manila. And finally, we have new CPAs and bar passers from among the region's personnel who pursued advancement in their career. With all of these programs being conducted and being done by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, we are embarking into a program that will make our services to our taxpayers more reliable, more friendly, and easier to comply. As part of nation building and towards accomplishment of the goals and objectives of the Bagong Pilipinas, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Revenue Region number 15, pledged to do our best to support in whatever programs that the government will have. And for everyone, patungo sa bagong Pilipinas, tulong-tulong tayong lahat. Maraming salamat po.
All right, thank you po sa presentation po from the BIR Revenue Region number 15. And with that, we will now entertain questions from our media partners. First, I will read questions muna from our online media po and online viewers, and then to be followed by our media present po here sa ating venue. So first question po, can you discuss any recent developments and updates po of a BIR?
Once again to our attendees for this morning's Kapihan. Regarding the first question, as I have shown earlier, the latest in BIR is the passage of the EOPT law. This is the law that we have been conducting region-wide dissemination. This law is a sort of a poverty alleviation program of the government, because it has created a segment of our taxpayers, the micro taxpayers group and the small taxpayers group, where several incentives have been given as compared to the medium and the large taxpayers. We are also embarking on our digitalization program in order to provide better service and fast service to our taxpayers at the comfort of their own homes.
All right. So next question naman po, follow-up din. Can you provide po an overview of the Bureau of Internal Revenue's primary role and responsibilities in the context of government revenue collection?
The BIR is the premier collecting agency of the country. We collect 80% of the national budget to run the machineries of the government. More than ever, we know that at this time with the new programs that our government is embarking on, our role as major tax collecting agency is very important, and we have to do the best that we can in order to help our country provide the funds that are much needed to run our machineries. And the BIR not only collects taxes but also administers other laws that are important in relation to its functions, to administer also and give effect to the decisions accorded to it in relation to tax cases by the Court of Tax Appeals and the Supreme Court.
All right. Thank you po, Director Dizon. Next question naman po. What are the efforts of BIR in region number 15 to mitigate illegal cigarettes?
Okay, may I request the Chief of our Legal Division, Attorney Rina, to answer the question.
Thank you, R.D. Aini. If I may explain a little, when you mentioned illegal cigarettes, in the BIR we call it as illicit cigarettes. These are cigarettes for which the excise tax has not been paid and they have been taken out of the place of manufacture, or they have been imported without paying the corresponding excise taxes. Just to educate also our audience today, the easiest way to find out if cigarette, that excise tax on the cigarette has been paid, the simplest thing to do is to check whether there is an affixed internal revenue stamp. So if there is no affixed internal revenue stamp, it is automatic that the tax on that cigarette pack or cigarette rims have not been paid. Another thing that you can do to check whether the taxes have been paid is to check the revenue memorandum order of the BIR. I'm sorry, I cannot specifically say the number, but we have a revenue memorandum order which lists the cigarette brands which are properly registered with the BIR. So if these cigarette brands are not registered with the BIR, then it's also safe to assume that the taxes thereon have not been paid. So as far as the efforts of the BIR is concerned, our regional office have participated in the past in nationwide simultaneous enforcement activities as directed by our national office in Manila, BIR Commissioner Romeo D. Lumagi. So with these enforcement activities, we believe that we have sent a message to those engaged in this business in the region that They are not being ignored, they are not being tolerated, they are being monitored. So, as also part of the mutual desire to mitigate this, the proliferation of illegal cigarettes or illicit cigarettes as we call them, we have also coordinated in the past with our uniformed personnel from the PNP who have also been exerting efforts in minimizing this illegal trade. So we have assisted them and we have provided the computations for the unpaid taxes, and in some cases we have also filed already complaints with the concerned prosecutor's office for this. So we hope that even if we cannot totally eradicate this, we hope that these efforts would at least mitigate or minimize this illegal activity.
All right,
Thank you.
po. Thank you, Attorney Rina. We have a follow-up po to that question. Ano po yung ating mga long-term goals and strategies in the BIR that are in place po to ensure sustainable revenue collection and minimize the impact of unlicensed businesses, including po yung ating illegal trade on government finances?
Okay, our RDO here in the district office, RDO Malikumpar, will answer that question.
So, ang question po natin po, Attorney, what are the long-term goals po and strategies po ng BIR that are in place to ensure sustainable revenue collection and minimize the impact po ng unlicensed businesses, including illegal trade, on government finances?
Thank you, Myra. Again, good morning po sa ating mga televiewers. Unang-una po sa lahat, the BIR, our office is have already issued some issuances with regards to the long-term programs for the sustainability of maintaining the for the registrations of some businesses. Actually, our office is tasked to have the what we call the TCBD of the tax verification, tax compliance and verification notice, in which our examiners and other personnel in the revenue district office are tasked to go outside and have a tax map whether the business is registered or not. In that way, we are very sure that all new business being operated in our area of jurisdictions are surely registered with our office. Again, that's all.
Okay, thank you po, Attorney Umpar. I believe may addition po.
Yeah, in addition to that, we have also our 2028 goal and vision that by 2028, our bureau will then be fully digitalized, manned by personnel who are well paid and satisfied and empowered, and that our policies and rules will be aligned with international standards.
Thank you po.
And,
Yes po.
and in addition din po, we adhere to the 4 pillars of good governance under the leadership of Commissioner Lumage. These are the excellent service to taxpayers, professionalism of our employees, and digitalization, and also the rigid tax enforcement for taxpayers who are non-compliant. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you din po. The ARD po, Magtagnyob. Thank you very much. And with that po, next question naman po tayo. We have a question from Zamboanga Sibugay. This question naman po, are there any benefits being a compliant taxpayer, especially for businesses looking to grow and expand?
Yeah. Kaz, Lester will answer that question.
What the question is, what benefit would a compliant taxpayer would get? So, of course, a compliant taxpayer would be the least priority in the audit, and that taxpayer, a compliant taxpayer, even if he or she is going to be subjected to audit, he or she doesn't have to fear it because her compliance or his compliance is already good, no? So I think when it comes to the assessment side, so and in relation to the issuance of letter of authority or tax verification notice, a compliant taxpayer need not have to fear or to worry about it because he's already complying with tax laws and regulations, I guess. Thanks.
Yes po. Do
May
you have
I add to
additional
that?
po? Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Lester, for that. And then we would also like to emphasize that if you're a compliant taxpayer, if ever your business will be subjected to the tax compliance verification drive, which the BIR regularly does, as mentioned by RDO Umpar earlier, then you will have no fear, like Attorney Lester said, that if a BIR employee will go to your business, check your registration requirements, check your books of accounts, etc., they will find no violation from your end, and therefore you will not be subjected to the applicable penalties. So I believe that is the best benefit you get if you're a compliant taxpayer, because you will not be afraid anytime, anywhere if you will be audited by the BIR.
All right. Thank you po.
So we hope that you would be compliant taxpayers so you can avail of that benefit. Thank
Alright,
you.
Maraming salamat po. Next question naman po, still from Zamboanga Sibugay Media po, what initiatives or programs does the BIR have to educate and assist taxpayers in understanding their obligations better?
In the region, regional office as well as district offices within RR 15 Zamboanga City, we conduct regularly our tax information and dissemination campaign. Actually, we are also partnering with our media people to help us disseminate this information. We do conduct a roadshow if it's really a major amendment. We also conduct barangay to barangay information tax campaign. The district offices are doing that, especially here in Zamboanga City, where the district's coverage is very big and composed of many barangays. So we do it by barangay, sometimes a cluster of 2 or 3 barangays. So tax information dissemination campaign is very important, and we have been doing it regularly. It's also being monitored by the chief of our client support unit in the region.
Thank you naman. Thank you po. Next naman po, we have a question from Zamboanga del Sur. With the rise of e-commerce and digital platforms, how is the BIR ensuring that businesses in the digital economy are compliant with tax regulations?
Our district offices are really monitoring this, no, kasi ito yung bago on the rise. So from the district office, Cas Lester will answer the question.
Again, with the proliferation of online sellers, I think the national office has already come up with an issuance or an order creating a subcommittee for tasked to monitor these social media influencers, online sellers, or those businesses engaging business through digital platforms. No? So with the creation of the subcommittee, the task of which, aside from coming up with a database of all these online sellers, they are tasked to conduct TCVD, tax verification, tax compliance verification drive to these online sellers, and then they will make a monthly report to the national office and make a follow through whether or not these online sellers have already registered or have been complying or paying taxes already. So,
Similar question po. Sige po, from Zamboanga del Norte. Similar lang po, may na-impose na po ba tayo na taxes on digital products po? And if so, how do we plan on going about it?
From the report that they have submitted so far, yes, they have already, some of the listed social media influencers or online sellers have already been complying, no? But not entirely, but it's still a work in progress. So constant monitoring still, we are still undergoing constant monitoring of these industries. So I think we'll be expecting better compliance in the future.
All right.
If I may add to that, thank you, Sir Attorney Lester. I believe the National Office have already issued also revenue issuances requiring, as mentioned by Attorney Lester, requiring these online sellers to register. And I believe, as mentioned also, that some of them have already registered because we are trying to plug these tax leakages because they have not been previously taxed before because they are doing their businesses online. And as also, the BIR has also issued an issuance imposing the withholding tax on online payments. So I believe just like credit card payments, when you pay via online platforms, when you do your Shopee Pay, your shopping through Shopee or Lazada, and when you pay through online channels, that's already imposed a withholding tax of 0.5%. So it would be nice when you do your online shopping, you pay also via online platforms so that they will be subjected to the withholding tax of 1.5%, same thing as that imposed to credit card payments.
Thank you po. Next question naman po, follow-up lang po to that. No? How about po yung ating mga vloggers? How do we monitor them, yung mga online vloggers po natin, if they are taxpayers po?
Online bloggers are also part of the monitoring. Just they are covered no doon sa issuance na it's RMO 29/2021. So kasama po si vloggers doon, mga social media influencers, online sellers, kasama po sila sa monitoring. So, yun po.
Yes po, RD.
In addition, we look at the Facebook pages, no, yung mga vloggers doon. And may nakikita kami na yung mga vloggers na sa Hulu. They are advertising na yung mga resorts doon. So it's one also of our sources of information, and we monitor them, and then we try to, actually we are doing our best to capture them in our registration system.
Okay, thank you po. Next po na question from Isabela City Basilan. Can you discuss po the process of the BIR or the BIR follows for selecting taxpayers for audits? How transparent is this process? I think we have Attorney Lester.
Okay, I will answer that. So we actually sa rule po sa issuance ng generally all taxpayers are candidates for audit though. So but the BIR has come up with series of issuances. We have RMO 19/2015, which was amended by RMO 6/2023. We have the taxpayers are classified into three cases, like mandatory cases, we have priority cases, and other priority cases as determined by the regional director or the RDO. So those that are falling under mandatory cases are tax refunds. No, also those taxpayers are filing business closure or retirement where the gross sales is more than 3 million and net assets is more than 8 million. For priority cases naman, there are also enumerations under said issuances, no, to classify the taxpayers under the priority cases. So one is that if the taxpayer has been reporting net loss for 2 consecutive years, also if the taxpayer's compliance falls below the benchmark rate, also those taxpayers who have been maintaining inventory of more than 100%, or those that have increase in assets of more than 50% but have been reporting in net loss. So I think in determining what taxpayer or who will be subjected to audit, we have these issuances, these guidelines. So it's not just a random thing that we just pick out the taxpayers that will be audited. There is definitely a legal basis for that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you po, Attorney Lester. Next question po, how is the BIR leveraging technology to improve services for taxpayers? Are there any new digital tools or platforms, or do you have an online platform where the taxpayers themselves can monitor their remittances?
Earlier on, actually, as mentioned earlier, we are into digitalization, full digitalization. No? That's the vision of our commissioner by 2028. Now, as of now, we have many services already that have been utilized by our taxpayers, enumerated earlier, no, on the slides. So, in the district offices, may doon list of e-services, and even on our website, no, www.bir.gov.ph, and you go to e-services. Nandoon lahat ang e-services na pwede. So we are really national office and in cooperation with the Department of Finance is really banking on going into digitalization in order to give the best and comfortable service to our taxpayers, like filing their and paying their returns at the comfort of their own homes, and then requesting clearances, and especially yung mga e-audit, yung one-time transactions, payment of capital gains tax, doc stamps. Ito we have also our e-services na on this type of transactions. And we are inviting all our taxpayers, not only inviting, but we are requesting them to avail of these e-services so that they can really enjoy the comforts of filing and paying and asking for some whatever they need in BIR like TIN and others to avail of the e-services. And siguro we are hoping na yung vision namin by 2028 na that will be fulfilled. And by the way, one thing more, we have also our yung electronic survey. I encourage our taxpayers na every time you transact with BIR, please fill in the survey form. Now, pag online, we have electronic survey in order also to give feedback to the services that we have been rendering. So for us also to improve the type of service that our people are doing.
Alright. Thank you po. Last na lang po from Isabela City din. How is the BIR aligning its policies with sustainability goals and promoting corporate social responsibility among taxpayers?
Good morning again. May you please repeat the first part?
How is the BIR po aligning the policies with sustainability goals po in promoting corporate social responsibility?
Okay, so the keyword would be corporate social responsibility. So I believe we have already in place, even some years back pa, we already have policies on granting incentives to corporations who hire senior citizens, persons with disability, and they are given additional deductions they can claim. Like for example, you can claim salaries expense, di ba, when you pay your employees. If you hire senior citizens or persons with disability, you are given an additional percentage that you can claim as expense aside from the actual expense that you have incurred. And I believe, as mentioned earlier by Sir Lester while we were talking earlier, we also have an Adapt a School program, and then if you give donations for charitable institutions, you are also allowed to claim deductions, charitable institutions. For those who may not be aware what deductions are, when you compute your income tax, you have your income, diba? And then you deduct your expenses. You are allowed to claim as valid expenses or deductions from your income the contributions you give to charitable institutions. So I believe that's part of the BR's efforts to encourage corporate responsibility among our taxpayers.
Okay, thank you po. Last na lamang po from our online viewer, we have Ma'am Letty Melitante of Zamboanga Today, LA Zamboanga, and Mindanao Net TV. In the issuance po of OR, what is actually the guidelines? Kailangan ba the purchase shall reach worth 500 pesos above? And also, do we have the list as to the number of tax evaders and the highest taxpayer? Yes po, ARD.
Okay, again, good morning. So for the issuance of invoice, pag ikaw po ay classified as micro taxpayer, earning not more than 3 million pesos, and you are a non-VAT registered, non-VAT registered, hindi ka required mag-issue ng receipt kung ang benta mo sa isang transaction ay below 500 pesos. Pag ikaw naman ay VAT registered, any amount, kailangan mong mag-issue ng invoice. Yun po yung ating guideline po sa pag-issue ng invoice.
Alright. Yun doon naman po sa second question po, yung number of tax evaders na na-record natin and the highest taxpayer?
I'm sorry, I don't think we have figures for the number of tax evaders, but I believe for top taxpayers, we have a list of that, and per region, I believe, ma'am, no? We are actually recognizing our top taxpayers, although of course we cannot memorize them all. But we do have, I think, data on those who are considered as the top taxpayers of the BIR, most probably by district office, by region, and nationwide.
So maybe po our media partners can come to the office no to get the list or to have a copy of the list po, or through PIA po you can also give us para po ma-provide natin yung list nila if it is possible or allowed po no to give them or to give the data to them. All right, so now we will go ahead po sa ating mga media partners po na andito kasama natin ngayon sa venue to ask their questions. First, we have Dang Bernardo of RMN.
Good morning. Good morning, ma'am, sir. My first question is, how does the inflation rate influence value-added tax revenue collection for the BIR, and what measures are taken to mitigate any negative impacts?
If I may.
Repeat. Okay. Again po, how does the inflation rates influence the value-added tax revenue collection for the BIR, and what measures are taken to mitigate any negative impacts?
Technically, if you talk about inflation rate, the BIR's, let's say for example, the VAT rate is fixed, di ba, at 12%. So if there's an inflation ongoing and the prices go up, then of course the corresponding 12% VAT rate would also be higher. So in other words, as far as collection is concerned, if there's inflation going on and the prices are high, then the VAT would also be higher. But then, as far as mitigation is concerned, I believe as far as tax laws are concerned, we do not do any mitigation as far as inflation is concerned because our tax rates are fixed whether there's inflation or not. Unless in the long run, maybe there would be amendments to the law which imposes the tax rates, then most probably that's where mitigation efforts will come in. And if I remember also, during the pandemic, actually, there was a reduction of the corporate tax rates before and the percentage tax rates from 3% to 1%. Am I right, Attorney Lester, ma'am? So there was a reduction during the pandemic. Instead of the usual 3% percentage tax rate, it was reduced to 1%, but it has already reverted back now to the 3%. But as far as the VAT rate is concerned, it has been maintained at 12% because we cannot change that just like that unless there is an amendment to the law which imposed the rate. Thank you.
I would like to add further. I believe that the BIR is conscious or aware about the inflation rate, the effects of the inflation rate, because that's precisely why they placed under in the EOPT law. It expressly provides that the BIR will constantly revise the consumer the threshold for value-added tax of 3 million based on the consumer price index. So I think that's the way how the BIR would address the inflation. Also, they would regularly check the threshold of the value, or those taxpayers who would fall under the value-added tax every 3 years based on the consumer price index.
Another question po, what are the latest figure regarding revenue collection by the BIR, and how do you compare to the previous year po? What are the latest figure regarding the revenue collection by the BIR, and how do you compare it to the last year po?
For 2024, we are tasked to collect 11 billion for RR15. So far, as of September 30, we have collected 8 billion. So that means we are already on the 73% level of collection. We have to collect the remaining amounts for the rest of the year, 3 months to go. Compared to last year, we are up by 9.5% growth rate.
Thank you po.
Okay,
Do you have
thank you,
any
ma'am.
more? Okay. So next po, we have a question naman from Sir Algie Rojas of RPN. All right, once again po, we have a question from Sir Algie Rojas of RPN. And then, of course, to be followed by Ma'am Marites Espartero of TV11.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Sir, buenas. Alam yung question, sir, is... Ay, okay. Pasensya. Alam yung question is, in what ways might the perception of tax fairness or unfairness affect the small businesses, owners, compliance behavior towards the BIR regulations? Okay, sige. In what ways might the perception of tax fairness or unfairness affect the small business owners, compliance behavior towards the BIR regulations?
Okay, in response to that question, we understand the perception really is tax is a burden. Okay, that is the general rule. So sometimes for the poor, for the lower level of our taxpayers, medyo it's difficult for them to comply the rules and the regulations, the compliance especially. So that's why in the EOPT law, nag-classify na tayo ng another group of taxpayers, micro. Wala ito noon eh. This is new. So aside from the three classifications, we have now micro, small, medium, and large. Micro and small, itong micro is below 3 million gross sales for the year. Ito namang small, over 3 million but not over 20 million. So ito sila, they have certain incentives given to them in order for them to to differentiate them for the higher level of taxpayers. Like for example, yung sa mga, the one I mentioned earlier, pag may surcharge siya, may violations, instead of 25%, 10 na lang for them. Instead of ang interest rate na 12%, for them 6% na lang. So at least they are given this incentive kasi small nga sila to help them out because eventually in the end we are hoping na by the time na they will grow, they will expand their business, so they will also become members of the medium and the large taxpayers group.
Okay, sige po.
If I may add, as far as the impression, as mentioned by Ma'am, for small taxpayers or those who are in the lower bracket, I'm not sure if our audience is aware that as far as the tax table is concerned, the first 250,000 pesos net taxable income of a taxpayer is exempt from tax. So for those low-income taxpayers, because they are still required to register with the BIR, but if their net income for the taxable year does not exceed 250,000 pesos, we're talking about individual taxpayers here, they are actually exempt from tax. But they still have to register, they still have to file the returns, but their returns would be no payment returns because their net taxable income has not exceeded the exempt threshold, which is 250,000 pesos. This was actually increased by virtue of the train law because before, I think, the exempt amount is only 100,000 if I remember right. So, maybe kasi ang impression ng taxpayers, they are being taxed the same way as everybody else. But if you look at the tax table, the rates are graduated, so it depends on your ability to pay. So the higher income you have, the higher tax rates you have. And those who do not exceed the 250,000 taxable income are exempt. Also, our non-VAT taxpayers who do not exceed the VAT threshold of, if I remember right, 3 million ba ma'am? 3 million, they are also given the option to avail of the 8% optional income tax rate. That means they can opt to pay their income taxes 8% on gross. They don't need to pay the corresponding percentage tax of 3%. So these are concessions given to our small taxpayers so that they can easily comply with their tax obligations. So if you avail of the 8% optional income tax rate, you don't need to file your percentage tax returns anymore. You only need to file your quarterly income tax return and you pay your 8% optional income tax rate.
Okay, sige
Thank you.
po. Thank you.
Thank you po, Sir Algie. Next po, we have Ma'am Tess Espartero of TV11.
Yes, good morning po sa lahat. Yung tanong ko po, meron po ba tayong mga government employee na mga tax evaders? Pag meron po, ilan po sa Region 9 at saka dito po sa Zamboanga?
Our employees in BIR, as it is their obligation to pay their taxes. We have employees who also engage in business, and these people are really also required more so that they are with the BIR, so they have to comply as models, no role models. So, especially, for example, for their taxes on their salaries, subject to withholding ito, so 0 talaga because we are very strict on our year-end adjustment on withholding taxes. Some of them, before the end of the year, pag may kulang, binabawas yun sa last salary. Pag may sobra, ina-adjust, dinadagdag sa last salary. As far as their businesses are concerned, they are also being subjected to audit kung pasok sila sa threshold. Walang exemption. So, pero I know that there are only a few kasi some of them are being engaged by their spouses, hindi sa kanila registration. Just the same, in-audit talaga natin sila. Wala exemption kasi meron tayong standards. As discussed earlier by Attorney Lester, dapat mag-follow tayo sa standard criteria for selection of audit.
Okay, pag hindi government employee, meron tayong mga kwan po sa data niyo, may mga list tayo ng mga tax evaders.
Actually, ma'am, talking about tax evaders, this is something to be proved. Eh. We have a division taking care of this, yung Special Investigation Division. Tax evasion could come from discovery through our audit or through confidential information. Once these factors do exist, we refer them to our Special Investigation Division to conduct first a covert surveillance. Later on, we go into overt, and then we develop the cases, we gather data, and then we follow the procedures provided under our tax code and the issuances on how to go about tax evasion. Sa tax evasion, we know we have already filed several cases on this. No, especially we uncover this through yung sit-down surveillance kasi if they exceeded 30% na under declaration, they are already considered, it's already considered tax evasion. So, we proceed with the procedure. Normally, ito sa Oplan Candado, ito namin, under rate cases.
Pag tax evasions po ang kaaso, paano po, mayroon din ba kayong programa tulad ng SSS lang po? Tanong ko lang po, ano ba yun, condonation, parang ganun po. Meron po ba kayo din?
Yeah, in BIR, sige, legal issue ito, may I ask our chief lab.
Good morning, ma'am. If I may qualify, when you say tax evasion, I believe you're referring to the fact that taxpayers may not be paying the proper taxes. So as previously mentioned by ma'am, we have a procedure for that. Usually they are being audited. So once they get audited, that's subject to due process because we cannot label somebody right away, you're a tax evader. So they are given the chance to comply. When they are audited, we have a very long procedure on that due process. They are audited, and then if they are found to have been under declaring their taxable income, then they will be issued the assessments. And then that will run its course. We have the preliminary assessment notice, the final assessment notice, etc. And then if still they do not pay their assessments, then they will be subjected to summary remedies. Because we have many ways of ensuring that taxpayers comply. It's not only through filing tax evasion cases. We have what we call the summary remedies. Their bank accounts will be garnished, their properties will be levied, and in fact, I believe our region has already undergone, I think, 2 or 3 public auction of properties which have been part of the summary remedies subjected to tax lien and levied, and we already sold them to public auction. So, just to siguro inform the public na it's not all the time now if we say that a taxpayer has not been compliant, diretso siyang kasuhan because we have a long process we have to follow before we eventually lead to that.
Pero mayroon po tayong few lang na nakasuhan na.
So far sa region, several siguro in the past, and then as mentioned earlier, we have already also filed several complaints for those who have not paid their taxes on the cigarettes.
Okay, sige po. Thank you.
Thank you very much po, Ma'am Tess. Next po, we have Ma'am Shirley Espino of Radio Pilipinas.
Good morning, everyone. My question is about the implementation of the Run After Fake Transactions program of BIR. Kamusta po yung implementation nito? And for the said fraudulent receipts, yung proliferation, meron pa rin po bang proliferation ng mga fraudulent receipts? May mga nakasuhan na po ba tayo ng mga taxpayers who are allegedly selling or buying and using fake or ghost receipts?
Okay, thank you very much for the question, ma'am. Actually, that program is a national office initiative. We have a task force specifically formed by the commissioner to address this problem. So, as far as our region is concerned, we are not yet involved with that program, but the national office task force created by the commissioner has already filed several cases, which I believe you have read the press releases, which our very active commissioner has been issuing as soon as they have filed cases against fake transactions. So I think that's an ongoing effort of the national office, but so far we have not yet been involved in such actions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you po. Next naman, we have Sir Justin Bulanon, still from Radyo Pilipinas.
Good morning, ma'am and sir. Yung question ko po is, way back 2021, the Anti-Red Tape Authority or ARTA and the BIR signed a pledge of cooperation dubbed as Project Tukhang laban sa korupsyon at red tape. Kumusta po yung update nito? Ongoing pa rin po ba ito this year 2024? At ano-ano po ba yung mga actions na ginagawa ng BIR to reduce the corruption incidents if ever meron man under the Bureau, specifically here in the region?
Thank you for the question. Yung Operation Tokang, it's been in 2021 very active, CBIR, in cooperation with the ARTA, our ARTA office. No? Yung Operation Tukhang na yun, wala na siya, but then we continue similarly yung mga activities namin that would monitor tax evasion. Our district offices, like for example, in Pagadian, we have this Tukhang pa rin, Tukhangyo, so meaning we go to the different stores at saka yun, we open we talk to them and we ask their cooperation, hangyo, to cooperate, asking them to cooperate in the payment of the taxes. We are also doing it sa mga meetings namin. We do meetings with the different government, business organizations like yung Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We also we ask them to help us meet our target by increasing their tax compliance. Kasi we want our tax administration to be friendly also to the taxpayer. Hangyo muna kami, but then if they do not cooperate, that's the time we do our enforcement activities. Like if they have very low compliance, we do sit-down surveillance. Uupuan namin sila for 15 days, titingnan yung sales nila for that period of time, and then we do extrapolate the data, applying it for the whole period for the year. So this is also our source of the, this Oplan Candado eventually if no compliance has been made by the taxpayer. So in some sort, continuous pa rin ito as part of our enforcement activities.
How about sa sariling office nyo po sa Bureau? Meron pong ginagawa ang BIR para ma-reduce po yung corruption incidents if ever meron man dito po sa region?
Okay. Actually, you mean corruption by
the personnel?
Personnel, okay. Actually, we have the integrity measure being done by our office. So first of all, pag there are, we cannot tell kasi if this exists without any information. No? If there are complaints that are being submitted to us, we do act on it immediately. Like magkanda kami ng investigation by our Special Investigation Division in coordination with our legal division. Now, if we found out na there are infractions being done by our personnel, we recommend this to our national office kasi there is another office in the national office who is conducting the further investigation and imposing the penalties and sanctions to our erring employees. Could be suspension, could be dismissal.
Thank you, ma'am.
Alright, thank you very much po, Sir Justin, and thank you very much din sa lahat po ng ating mga media partners na kasama natin ngayon. Here in Zamboanga City, we have from RPN, RMN, Radyo Pilipinas, ABS-CBN, GBPI TV11, and of course from FEBC. Thank you very much po sa inyong presence ngayong araw. And of course, maraming salamat din sa lahat po ng ating mga online media partners who are watching us and online viewers who are watching us via live stream. And with that po, thank you very much din sa lahat po ng ating mga panauhin. We would like to acknowledge them once again. No? We have Attorney Malik Umpar, the Revenue District Officer po ng RDO number 93A of Zamboanga City, Attorney Lester M. Minyao, the Chief of Assessment Section of RDO number 93A of Zamboanga City. We have Attorney Rina Marie Francisco, the Chief of Legal Division. And of course, ang Assistant Regional Director po, Ma'am Ruby Ruth Magtagnop. And of course, ang ating Regional Director po. And of course, we would like to hear then closing or forwarding message po from our Regional Director po ng BIR in Revenue Region number 15. We have Attorney Aini Mandahoyan and Dizon.
We are very grateful to have been partnering with you this morning. This is a very good avenue for us to ask your help to us to disseminate whatever information that we may have for our taxpayers. And we are very grateful to PIA for facilitating this dialogue this morning. And of course, our media partners, we are very happy that you are here asking your questions in order to clarify certain things that may help not only our taxpayers but also BIR in general. I am also thankful to our viewers online. Thank you for the online questions submitted to us, and of course to my team here, Assistant Director Ruby Magtangyop, to the RDO of the Prime District of Zamboanga Region, RDO Malik Umpar, to the Chief of our Legal Division, Attorney Rina Marie Francisco, and our Chief Assessment Section of the Premier District, RDO 93A, Attorney Lester Minyao. Very thankful also for the participations of other officers in this region. On the floor, si Mr. Richie Francisco, the Chief of our Review and Evaluation Section, and the Chief of our Client Support Unit, Ms. Hermie Gabasa. And of course, Ma'am Lynn Celestial, the Chief of Assessment Division over there, and Sheng, the Chief of the Tax Billing Section, Sheng Minyao, the wife of our CAS, and Ms. Isra. Thank you very much for all the help that you give us. Our statistician, si Jason, nandiyan sa likod. I am also very happy to our technical people. Thank you very much for making this dialogue very lively. We are hoping to have more on this in the future. Salamat talaga, Director. Si Director Idaga Noemi, dito siya there. Oo. I am very happy. Si Sir Hart, who has been helping us in our, yung mga illicit cigarettes na trabaho namin. Thank you very much for all the help of everyone. And sana we will be helping each other always in our pursuit to fulfill the tremendous and gigantic task of tax collection for BIR RR15. In behalf of the entire BIR RR15 family, we are very happy and thankful to all of you. May God bless us all. Thank you.
Alright, maraming salamat po. Once again, we have Attorney Aini Mandahoyan Dizon, the Regional Director of BIR RR15. And maraming salamat din sa buong team po ng BIR in Revenue Region 15 for making this episode possible. And of course, sa buong technical team din ng PIA and to all our media partners. And with that po, nagpapasalamat kaming muli. Sana po'y marami tayong natutunan ngayon sa ating 20th episode at magkita-kita pa tayo sa mga susunod pa nating episodes kasama ang iba't ibang mga ahensya ng gobyerno. Sa ngalan pong muli ng Presidential Communications Office Secretary Cesar Chavez, PIA Director General Catherine Chloe De Castro, and PIA Regional Head Ms. Noemi Adaga, ito si Myra Espinosa para sa Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Muchísimas gracias.